Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootleggers, shills, deathslaves, serfs, peasants, vassals, minions, meat sacks. My apologies for being a little behind on some of these stories. I've been out of it. But I wanted to make some comments on the Joe Biden pardon of his son, and I think most pundits have covered it very well. It's a totally disgraceful act, and Joseph Biden's final days as president. But it was baked in the cake. It was inevitable. It was planned this way from the beginning, and there's a number of reasons for that. One is, of course, Joe Biden has been a pathological liar for his entire 50-year political career, and it's well documented, so I'm not necessarily picking on him. And then another part of that is, of course, he's pardoning his son to protect himself, and he gave him this blanket immunity, uh, uh, blatantly going back to 2014 with Hunter's Burisma business dealings. And so Biden is actually protecting himself with this. And of course, another aspect of this is the fact that um, Joe Biden has planned to do this from the beginning. He's made it clear that regardless of how despicable his son's behavior has been for decades, he loves his son and would do everything to protect him. And it was very telling because when he went out and gave um, defiant political speeches about how no one is above the law and he won't be pardoning Biden, he was very convincing. But whenever he was in interviews and he was asked about it, you could tell in his hesitancy and his body language when he said no that he was lying and he knew he was lying. And uh, and of course, all of this is has to be completely connected with the treatment of Trump because first of all, Biden has come out and all his liberal minions, political leaders, and the liberal press has all talked about how no one is above the law. And of course, they were referring to Trump. But now we find out, of course, as we knew, that Hunter Biden is well above the law. And of course, Hunter Biden's crimes are a lot more egregious than anything Trump ever did, even though they've blown it completely out of proportion. So he's really getting off. So he's getting off for his gun purchasing felony, and he's also getting off for not paying back taxes. But Biden is also making sure that he gets off on all his shady business dealings. And it's amazing that Joseph Biden and Jill are so proud of Hunter. I mean, he's spent his whole life not working, riding on the coattails of the Biden family, bringing in tens of millions of dollars and spending it all on crack and whores, all completely documented for decades. So there's a lot there to be proud of. And the other point of this, too, is that it's ironic that Joe Biden is complaining about the fact that his son was singled out because he's Joe Biden's son, and that the Department of Justice was weaponized and used against Hunter, which is incredible hypocrisy because the Joseph Biden Department of Justice completely weaponized the justice system to go after Trump on trivialities compared to Hunter. So, as I often say, hypocrisy is the coin of the realm, and this is a prime example of that. So, um, apparently, a lot of people are above the law. Apparently, crime pays, and also they liberal press is being hypocritical because they lamented and whined about Trump pardoning members of his family during his first presidency, and now we have Biden pardoning his son Hunter. And as this moves forward, as I mentioned in a video I did earlier this year, there are maybe more controversial pardons coming. He's talking about pardoning his brother James. Now there's talk about pardoning Liz Cheney and Adam Schiff and Fauci. And it's kind of funny that he wants to give preemptive pardons to these people. It's almost like he's acknowledging that he's aware that they're involved in criminal activity, so everyone's going to get protected. So no surprise, this was inevitable. Hunter was going to get pardoned from the very beginning, and here it is. And once again, these last days of Joe Biden's presidency are a total disgrace. And it's also ironic that only a few pundits have pointed out the fact that Joe Biden was architect of the Three Strikes You're Out, which really targeted the black community and targeted people who were caught with crack. And yet he's willing to let his son get by on decades of smoking crack purportedly every 10 to 20 minutes for decades. And somehow that isn't an issue with Joe Biden. Under his law, Hunter would be in jail for many more than 3 strikes for doing crack for a couple of decades. But here we are, once again, the elites show what they're made of, and it's completely disgusting, completely disgraceful, completely despicable. And here we are, and there's going to be more of it. So welcome. I'm useful idiot, don't you be one too.